just a little bit. He's flexible. My name is Aunt Mama. And I want to welcome you. I know some of you, I don't know others of you. I hope I will get to know others of you, and I hope all of you all will get to know each other. So it's incumbent upon you at intermission not only to look at Larry's CDs, but also to introduce yourselves to each other, and there will be a test. Several of you asked, and I will tell you, since you don't know, that as COVID began, I was not feeling so well, and it wasn't a good idea to not feel so well during COVID because it was very hard to catch doctors' attention. So when I finally got their attention, it seems that I had just a little touch of cancer, which turned into stage 3 lung cancer. And I went, we can't do that, we'll just build stage 3. So by the grace of God, there is stage 3, and that's what we're having here. And Martha, if you have not met her, is a person who has put up with me and her entire inheritance so that we could do this. We do. You have to love Martha. It's no worries to love her. I first met our artist tonight through Folk Alliance Regional West, Far West. There are some other people here from Far West. And he was kind enough to kind of know me as a storyteller. And if he would allow me, I'll tell you a little bit about stories that took place some other place. We're on the sacred Scalamport Gamble tribal land, and we all have our little cards, and we're supposed to say that now. You go to meetings and you go to things, and we are standing on the sacred land. Well, that's anywhere in America. We're standing on somebody's sacred land, so I just can't read that to you. This land belonged to the tribe 80 years ago, so it certainly is. And the land I'm from is a little bit southeast, where we have grits. We have grits. And to this day, there's still times that grits are the only thing that work in my entire life. The sky is falling, the clouds are dark, and there must be grits. I learned how to fix grits the night of the fire. And you fix them. You don't boil them. And you don't add maple syrup or sugar to them. No. Salt, pepper, maybe a little butter. And you don't eat them with a spoon. You have to eat grits with a fork. Why, Mama? Why do we eat grits with a fork? Oh, she said, because watery grits that don't set up on a fork could drive a man blind. And then she picked up scraps of burnt paper and put them in the trash can. Later that night, she put me in front of the stove where I was stirring the grits and asked me about the matches. Where did you find the matches? I did not want to talk about the matches, so I kept stirring. And I said, how do we know how to make grits, Mama? Oh, there was an auntie after the fires of Pompeii, and she wrote down how to make grits and all of the grit lore and how it takes 1,000 years for one grit to form underground, under fire like the devil's own cauldron, enough fire that it could burn a house down. I did not wish to talk about burning anything down, so I kept stirring the grits and trying to get her to think of something else as she asked me about the matches. Well, Mama, I stirred. She stood close. The gas lights were bubbling up this way, that way. I was feeling the weight of the world. I could feel all of the clouds coming down. And finally I said, Mama, I didn't mean to catch the bathroom on fire. And there was this little Boy Scout match holder. It winked at me for days. It was just right there on the shelf. It was just winking at me. And it was my brother's Boy Scout. And I really wanted to see. And inside there were wooden matches with a red, hecker red tip to them, and I tried to strike them against the side, and they wouldn't light. So I took another one, and that didn't work. So I took by the time I took all 6 of those matches, they went into the light. Oh my goodness gracious, and I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't put them out to put them in the trash can, and then all the smoke came. And that's how you got here, Mama. I'm sorry. I thought she was going to give me a tongue licking, like no tongue licking, and I felt so much like that cloud over my head, like I was never going to see the sky again. But she just asked me, have you learned your lesson? And I had. I learned that sometimes there are the darkest clouds over your head, and if you just make those grits, if you just stir. So many children in my house, when they get scared and it gets dark and those clouds come down, we make grits in the middle of the night, and I have fired their imagination and fueled their memory.